It's recording. Okay. So it's recording. Good afternoon. Today we will be working on the fire estimate. So projects involving the fire trade. Essentially, it's fire pipes. So let's get down to the basics. Let us read the rules first. So for fire, it's all importance level 2, 3, and 4. I think that you're very familiar for the fire trade. So fire pipes are very essential in essentially preserving the life of the tenants of a building in case of an accident or in the event of an earthquake. So the fire trade is very essential. That's why they're all categorized into a single column for importance level. So 2, 3, and 4 all the same. For pipes that are 0 to 64, you would count them. If they are more than 64, you would count them as well. So essentially, you would count all the pipes for fire projects. So it's that simple actually. And here you have the pipe size factor. It's very self-explanatory. If it falls within the 0 to 64, it's 1. If it's 65 to 90, it's 1.1. 100 and bigger, 1.2. Complexity factor, like what we've discussed previously, it's self-explanatory. If you feel like it's just pure straight runs, it's 1. If it has complexity in between, 1.2. If it has clashes and the hanger height of more than 300, it is 1.3. Now, okay, so similar to the plumbing one, you have two pipes next to each other, or the electrical one, you have two pipes less than 65 next to each other that can be on the same trapeze. So same trapeze, let's say it's do they have an illustration here? Okay, so we don't have an illustration here. Let's just draw up for one. Hope you can understand my illustration. So let's say you have a concrete slab here, and then the pipes would be here. Okay, that's an ellipse, that's a pipe. Okay, so let's say they're here. They share. Let's just make them big for presentation purposes. So let's say they share one trapeze. If you have two of them, 1.2. If there are four, 1.5. Two pipe 65 and more next to each other that can be on the same trapeze. Only you measure only one length, not both. 1.5. Two pipes include 65 and bigger pipes next to each other. You put two. Four two pipes that includes 65 and bigger next to each other that can be the same trapeze. It's 1. So I think that's very self-explanatory. You have 1.2, 1.5, 1.5, and 2. So let's go down to here. So essentially, as we've discussed, you would just measure all of the lengths of this fire project. So for design purposes, in the design discipline, we would always take into consideration all of them unless they say that it's directly fixed. For fire pipes, it's either it's directly fixed or it's not. If it's not directly fixed, we will restrain them. If it's not, then we don't have to consider them. So that's essentially the rule for fire pipes. And I will. So essentially, what he did here is the standard procedure after after measurement. Essentially, just lay them down. He just classified them, which is less than 65 and 65 and more. You could do that by differentiating the color of the lines, or if you manipulate Bluebeam to your liking, you can even do with the thickness of the line or hatch, but that is entirely up to you. Jose has his own technique. So what he did here was 65 was for pipes that are greater than 65. The red one was greater than 65, and the yellow was less than 65. So essentially, the main run for fire pipes is usually the bigger one. So there's that, and yeah, the branches are usually the smaller ones, so they go to here. They usually fall within the less than 65. So I think that's very self-explanatory. There's no floor mounted that much here for the fire trade. There's not much floor mounted based from my experience. it's mostly purely pipes. But in the design, the fire pipes are a bit more technical since it's a very essential part of the building. So we will get back to that in the future. But for now, this is our lesson for fire pipes. So I hope you understood, and I will catch you on the next one.